Hey Internet pals, my name is Parker Stevens, and I work for Groupware Technology. I'm currently sitting here in my home office, and behind me is actually a closet full of clothes, and I'm definitely wearing sweatpants. I'm sure you're in a similar predicament, and it's been interesting. Today we actually have an interesting topic to talk about, and I'd like to introduce my esteemed colleague, who I've been working with for about 3 years at Groupware. I think he deserves none other than a good old-fashioned Johnny Carson introduction. So, without further ado, here's Johnny.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first series of cloud optimization talks that we're going to be doing. Parker and I have worked together for 3 years on cloud optimization, and prior to me working on this, I worked in infrastructure my entire career. The last thing I was doing happened to be moving a major workload to the cloud. So this is near and dear to my heart. We're going to be putting out some educational videos, hopefully very short, and we're excited to do this. We have aptly named them Johnny and the Stash. So without further ado, let's get moving. Take it away, Parker.
All right. Man, I gotta say, they nailed the stash there. They slimmed you up, John. I think you look good. Well, today we're going to talk about visibility in the cloud. And I think it's pretty clear, if I take off my glasses, I can't see anything. And I definitely can't drive. It's even on my driver's license. And it's important to have the right prescription in the cloud. We believe that those native tools that AWS, Microsoft, and Google give you in your cloud environments just might not be a strong enough prescription. They don't give as much clarity. We use a cloud management platform called Cloud Health to manage our customer base and manage about 1.4 million in customer monthly revenue. We use it for ourselves as well, and it gives clarity everywhere that we need it.
So if I have the visibility, Parker, why does this happen many times to people when they get their monthly invoice? It's amazing how many people get macauleyed by their monthly invoice when that just shouldn't happen. We have the visibility, right? Well, it still happens.
Yep. Time and time again, we have a company come to us and say, I don't get it. I went into the cloud with a budget of $30K and I'm spending $45,000 every month. And each month the invoice comes and I say, how the did this happen? Insert your own expletive there. And honestly, looking at this picture, I have no idea how this happened. Maybe the tire was put after the tree. Which came first, chicken or the egg? But I got to say, that tree is pretty old. Might have been planted around the same time you were born, John. What do you think?
I think we should move on to the topic, okay?
Okay, all right.
So, how did it happen? It shouldn't. I have this cloud management tool. I have policies, I have reporting. I should catch this, right? You know, my kids, when they were young, they couldn't get the ball down the alley, so we had bumpers to keep the ball out of the gutter. Well, that should happen with my cloud management tool. Well, guess what? You can have all the policies that you want, but they're not going to catch every condition. This simple condition on the screen here shows you that a customer with $1,000 a day in spend could have a meager growth rate of $25 per day. However, if you extrapolate that over 31 days, their monthly run rate goes from $31,000 to $54,000. And if you tried to put in alerts on this, you would get spammed nonstop with a whole bunch of false alarms. So the point here is that even if you do have the alerting, that doesn't mean you're not going to get macauleyed at the end of the month.
Great, Scott. I know what we need to do. We need to grab the time machine. We need to go back in time, John, and just fix the issue before it even happens. Forget the policies. We don't need any of that. But don't talk to anybody. Don't talk to yourself. And don't ask any questions. Okay. All right. I got a little carried away. We can't do that. So what do we need to do? We need to look at our environments at least once a week, right, John?
Well, yes, we do. But before we talk about that, I need to mention that it's bad enough that the Macaulay scene was 3 years before my millennial friend was born. But the flux capacitor and Back to the Future was 8 years before my millennial friend was born. Man, it makes me feel old. So the bottom line is, we say you got to look at it weekly, but everyone has day jobs. Who has the time? How are you going to find that time to watch your spend? Well, we're going to show you a quick view where you can set up, using your cost management tool, certain dashboards with very concise reports that allow you to very quickly, in 5 minutes a week, be able to understand whether there's an anomaly and whether there's a pending issue coming with your invoice.
So when you start this weekly analysis, we believe it's a good idea to have a holistic view, a single pane of glass view of your entire environment, whether that's in AWS and Google or Azure and AWS, whatever combination it is, you should have some type of a tool that can give you that holistic view. Obviously, the native tools in AWS or Microsoft or Google don't allow you to pull in other cloud metrics. So that's another reason why a cloud management tool is a good idea. Again, this is Cloud Health that we use, and it's a great starting point for us to be able to have the view for ourselves, but also for our customers to see their holistic environment.
So the next thing you need is you need views of the data that make sense to your business metrics. In the case we're looking at here, you will see that this is broken down by service type and by account. However, this can vary by whatever KPIs are most important to your business. So if it happens to be you want it by environment so that you can tell whether it's production, dev, or test, or maybe you want it by business unit. Whatever makes sense, set up your tool and your tagging to give you that reporting so that you can see it at a glance. And then it's critically important to look at the daily spend chart. The weekly and the monthly is great if you're looking for more longer term trends. But if you're looking for a problem this week where someone did something unexpected, you want to know about it right away so you're not surprised. So you want to start with your daily spend chart and look to see if there's anything out of the ordinary. And when you look at these charts that are on the screen, you can see that all of the spend is within normal flow.
Sweet. So just about 5 minutes per week is all you need to have a good understanding of your environment, and you're golden, right, John?
If it were only that easy. So Parker, we have talked about one part of the equation, but there's a very important part that we haven't talked about yet.
That's right, John. Management expects us to understand the invoice before it arrives each month anyway, but they're most concerned that the costs are being driven down wherever possible.
And on that note, what we'd like to do for our next installment of Johnny and the Stash is to talk to you about things you can do quickly on a weekly basis to understand how to drive down costs and to minimize those costs as management would like us to do. So tune in next time for Johnny
And the Stash.